Hello and welcome to the Dynasty 2 after show. But actually, when we talk about Dynasty 2, the Colbys, we won't be talking about it. I had several requests. I haven't done the show in a long time. I felt like I did enough episodes, and I'm like, maybe I'll do something once in a while on the Colbys. The Colbys was only on for like a season and a half anyway, so it wasn't on long. Unless I get interviews, the show's there, and people are discovering it. People are literally watching. I've been listening to it this last couple of weeks. So thank you, new listeners or people revisiting it. I really appreciate it. I do. But people were asking me about the CW Dynasty, which is about to end, and also um why I didn't do a Dynasty after show. Those are two legitimate questions. I was like, well, I don't have a Dynasty after show, so like this is the closest. So since it's a spinoff and it's my network, I can do whatever I want. So I said I'll do it on here. So hopefully this will answer some of your questions about a couple things did and didn't do. So first of all, because I do a Falcon Crest, Knots Landing, and Dallas after show. I do. I have shows for those. And why did I do a Dynasty? I thought, well, at first I started out just doing just doing Dallas and Falcon Crest. I had never seen anything Falcon Crest related out there, so I thought, well, let me do that. There's Dallas stuff out there, so I was like, that's already out there. So I thought, but I had my own spin. I wanted to. I love Dallas, my favorite out of the four. I wanted to make sure I had my own stamp on it, and so that's why I did Dallas. Then for the longest time, I went on about my business, and so it's like, we should do Knots Landing. Because actually, if you notice on some of my early Dallas episodes, I did a couple of crossover episodes with Knots Landing and Dallas crossover. And I was like, I do love Knots Landing. I watched all 14 seasons. And I know a couple of folks who kind of do Knots Landing stuff also. And there's an audience. So I'll do that one. Prime time. Well, Dynasty, I was like, well, by this point, I've watched the 4 seasons of the new Dynasty. I watched all the seasons of the other Dynasty. I saw the movies. I don't know. So I just like I don't know why. Like to I just decide I'll just do one. But I thought, would it be interesting if I did one on the Colbys? I was more curious if there's an audience. Is there an audience? And I found an audience. Not huge, but it's a nice small audience on Facebook and my listeners and the Colbys. This Dynasty Colbys is a moderate hit for us. And I thought, plus it was so different. I just think it's a little different than anybody else. I thought, so I don't do Dynasty, but I do Dynasty 2. That was kind of funny. So I did it. So that's kind of the reason why I never did a Dynasty one. That's how it works. But I have compared, I did a show on Three Fallons, which I include the ones from Dynasty and CW, things like that. So I did a couple of those. But mostly it's all about the Colbys. I thought it was a very interesting show. So that brings us to here now. To answer the question about the CW Dynasty, what's about to end in its 5th season. And I know there's there's one person in particular who let me know how much he hates the new Dynasty. I mean, he hates it more than life itself. So I don't know. So that's, yeah. So that is completely like, okay, done with that. Other than that, the Dynasty fans have been really wonderful. The Dynasty 2 fans have been really wonderful to me and to the show and just give me their opinions. And I love when you guys tell me things I don't know, like from other countries, because I just know America, what happened here. You guys let me know like how it was over here and how this happened over here. And I love the exchange that we have. And some of you guys have brought up that you like the new Dynasty. I thought, I was one of those people, out of the 4 soap operas in the 80s, I said Dynasty is too specific. Dynasty is way over the top. The characters are very well known. And it was very 80s. It was super, super 80s. I didn't think there was any way they could replicate that today, even though there's wealth of stuff, but like, I don't know if that'll work. Don't know if that'll work. But I was like, I'd be open to it. I was like, eh. So when I heard they're doing a Dynasty and on a CW, I was like, no. CW? Really? Try taking a drink. It's hot here in LA. Why is it CW? I don't watch anything on CW. I'm like, oh, okay. It's going to skew younger, blah, blah, the whole thing. Anywho, I watched the first episode. I was hooked. But I was still like a skeptic. Like, I don't even know how this is going to work. Are they going to follow the season like the first season of Dynasty, which wasn't exciting? It got exciting in the second season. Needless to say, they had some bumpy starts in the beginning. The Stevens, the different crystals, all that kind of stuff. But I will tell you, all the actors really play their roles very well. Elizabeth Gilles, I guess that's pronounced her name, or I think it's Gilles, I pronounced her last name. Really good as Fallon. And national treasure from Melrose Place, who plays Blake. I was like, he does a great job. He's doing a great job. I really can't believe this. The show is so funny because the names of the people, they switch things around. It's hard. I try to describe to people. I'm like, this alliteration is very different from the original, but they incorporated some of the things from the original in there, but with different, and also kept fresh new stuff in there too. Setting it in Atlanta, making the Colbys black, and then making them related to the Carringtons. They did some stuff that I didn't see coming, and actually it works. They had Michael Culhane, which of course was somebody at the beginning of it too, and he's on there, but he was black. Fallon was even a black man. I was like, okay. They did bring in Dominique. They eventually brought in Ben. Like they did some stuff that I was like, oh, okay, they are doing the stuff from and Alexis. Now that's Elaine Hendricks who plays Alexis. I'm like, she's a find. I love her. And she's not the strong. Fallon is the Alexis on this show, which is another interesting twist. So I understand if and Adam's kind of crazy, and then there's Kirby who's kind of fun, and they had Claudia. So there's La Mirage, but it's run by Sammy Joe, who's a man, played by the wonderful Rafael de la Fuentes. It's funny; it's all mashed up, but somehow it works and does still pay homage to the originals. I understand completely if you're a huge fan of the original, if you don't like this version. Totally get it. I don't even argue with people. I'm like, I totally get if you don't like it. For me, because I'm open, I have open arms. Let's go. Let's just see what happens. I love it. I'm sad it's the ending. I wish it'd go on for another few seasons. The original went on for 8 seasons, 9 years, like the 90s, and this one's only going on 5. Like, a few more seasons. They added Liam, which is somebody totally different for Fallon. Crystal's got a backbone now. Dominique's finally winning. They brought in the Rita storyline, which is kind of funny. They used Beto, who was Crystal's brother. Like they had a Mark Jennings. It was kind of fun stuff. They really did some fun stuff. Amanda and Kirby together. It was like, that's kind of weird. I liked it. I did. I thought it had lots of twists and turns and campy, soapy stuff, plus just regular stuff. And I will be sad to see it go. I know it was a hit internationally, not really a hit here in America. But I don't feel else you liked it. And so I did like the show. And so I've been waiting. Now it's not on again for another 2 weeks or whatever. Like they're basically piecemealing it out to us. I know, to finish it out. But when it comes all out on DVD and there's a box set, I'm buying it. I'm going to have it for my thing, rewatch it. Hopefully they'll have some stuff on it. And maybe I'll do after show for that. I don't know. We'll see. I know CW is making a big change. An announcement. They're changing everything or whatever. So reflect demographic. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to miss it. But I do miss the original also. I love the original. The original. This one's not a replacement of the original. I don't like it more than the original. The original is just the best thing, since sliced bread in the 80s. It represents the 80s. Joan Collins, all of it, they're all amazing. Heather Locklear, everybody. It doesn't replace it at all. But I like this alliteration of the show and this little reboot. And I thought I applaud them for really trying to take one of the most iconic shows. And to me, it was way better than Dallas. Sorry, hated the Dallas reboot. if you listen to my Dallas show, you'll hear my reasons why. I'm not gonna spot on here, but you hear them over there why I don't like the show. And Dallas is my favorite show out of all before. So I'm like, yes, but I love Dynasty. I like Dynasty too. I like Dynasty to Kobe. I like all of it. I like the whole franchise. If I could have been back then at the helm, and I think I would have tried some other things and kept them going. They had they had a good thing going, but then also like the 80s when it ended, it went down with it. So that's my thoughts on Dynasty, the current and the old Dynasty. Those my quick thoughts on those. But who knows? Maybe I'll do some more. I don't know, shows on it. But again, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this after show for whatever reason you tune into it. I want to say hi to all the Facebook groups out there that let me post in their pages. Thank you so much. If you know if you know any little tidbits, things that I don't know about, please share them. I love it. I like reading them. But I'm James Lott Jr. We're on all streaming services. We're on YouTube and JLJ Media. And I will see you again.